This machine you're about to see, in my research, I found out NASA used this when astronauts came back from the moon. I'll ask you, what gets you out of bed in the morning? For Don and Lina Furrey, it was hiking, biking, and wine tasting. But their world turned upside down about 4 years ago when Don suffered a stroke. But thanks to a Santa Clarita business, Mend, and their new PEMF machine, life is moving forward again.
We used to go to Carpinteria a lot. We go biking there. We live in Castaic, so plenty of hiking at the lake.
A week removed from a great wine testing weekend in Temecula, Lina and Don's life took a 180. Her husband had laid down after work complaining of a migraine.
And then I saw his face kind of start to droop, and I knew.
At the start of COVID, Don had suffered a stroke.
I did briefly see him, and he saw me, and he looked petrified. He didn't know what was going on, and I could see tears in his eyes. Mine, it was terrible.
Doctors said he had a 10% chance of survival after a brain bleed. He spent a month in a coma after having surgery, and Lina knew her life would never be the same.
I was on a Facebook group for wives of stroke survivors, and somebody had mentioned EMF.
When Don first came in, he was wheelchair bound, he had a trach tube in his throat, completely unable to use the right side of his body.
To fully understand PEMF, pulsated electromagnetic field therapy, know that the human body has over 1 trillion cells.
It's sending these magnetic pulses, and each time it's pulsing, it's basically stretching and releasing those cells.
Suddenly started sleeping better. He was not sleeping good at all.
So as we charge our phones, laptops, and cars, now repairing and recharging our cells can be accomplished with this unique machine.
If you have a disease, if you have an injury, it's cellular damage of one sort. What the PMF is doing is working on your cells.
It would help anyone from injury, sickness, or aging, but it proved life-changing for Don with the cells damaged from his stroke.
By the way, the doctors told him that that's as good as it gets when he came in here.
I shouldn't be. I can't, but I'm better.
Life is still an uphill climb, but this avid outdoorsman has been back at the lake.
He took him fishing, and it's absolutely amazing.